Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video I want to show you guys just a handful of new screenshots that came out today regarding patch 3.5. One of them, maybe two of them, being of pretty big importance considering it involves the Anima questline, which you can see we already have one of the two Anima questline screenshots on the screen right here. So, we just a bunch of things I got to record today. I'm sure a bunch of you have a bunch of questions. Let me just say, I have seen the Game Watch interviews, I've seen the 4Gamer interviews, there's a ton of articles out there right now that I need to be producing content on as well. Those will be coming out later today. For now, we got patch 3.5 screenshots to talk about. Now, the first one I don't really think I have much to say about because it's Geralt is angry and keeled over and his face shows much anguish. It's the second screenshot that we really got to talk about here. The second screenshot here is a preview of the next Anima Step. And now, every Anima Step, or almost every one, including going back to the Relic, has its own unique interface that you can access via the key items that allows you to track progression. This one is very different than a lot of the last ones we've had. We had the 210 step where you had to bring all the items in, and that one didn't have an interface. We had the hyperconductive step. We then had the Umbrite step, which of course had its own interface. And we had very recently the step after that. Oh, I forgot the Ether Oil step. I'm sorry, the Ether Oil step in between that as well. It's been a while since we've had one of these interfaces outside of the Umbrite quest, but this right here, it just shows the name of the weapon, the sharpened trident of the Overlord, the 260 spear, and then it shows the anima itself and what looks to be a gauge that fills, starting from the bottom left, and I'd imagine working its way like a clock, clockwise, all the way to the bottom right corner. This, to me, immediately screams light farming. Now, for those of you who weren't around in Realm Reborn, light farming is the simple act of going and completing instances and trials, dungeons, raids, doesn't matter, and at the end of it, you get what is known as a light value, and it increases the more you do content until you filled in the entire gauge, and bam, you're done with the weapon. Now, there's a whole bunch of other technicalities to it, and if you really want to know more about the light farming, I recommend going back and maybe watching one of my old guides for the old light farming methods back in A Realm Reborn. Was it the Nexus weapon? No, it was the one before the Nexus weapon. I can't remember what it was called right now. But if you go back and look at the A Realm Reborn relic quests, you'll figure out very quickly what light farming was like. That, to me, tells us that that's what this will be. You'll just have to do content over and over again, probably on the job with the weapon equipped, and you will probably develop light for it. So, hope you guys like farming Ravana, because he's probably going to be the very, very likely candidate of a lot of farming. Hey, I like birds as well. Now, in an interview, in case you're wondering, well, how do we know this is light farming, or how do we know this doesn't require lore or poetics, in one of those interviews that I haven't gotten to cover yet, if I recall correctly, Google Translate mentions that there are no currencies in this quest. So lore tomestones, poetic tomestones, Grand Company seals, whatever, that you won't need them for this quest. That being said, I'm still going to hold on to mine before the patch comes out, or at least until we have the patch notes tomorrow. So I'd recommend you hold on to yours as well. Light farming, I'm not really, I'm impartial. I didn't mind that much, but I expect this to be very grind heavy. The interview also confirmed, and again, I'll talk about this in the other video as well, that there is a 270 step for this one, and that there will be another Anima step in 3.55. So that, yes, the item will go up to 275 eventually. So this step, item level 270, and then about 5 to 6 weeks after the patch, you'll have the 275 option as well, which is supposed to be a much easier step than this one. Moving on, we just have a few other screenshots. The Allied Beast Tribe quest. I don't know about you guys. I've started working on all my Beast Tribes that I've neglected all this time, and it's going pretty fast. Moogles are almost up to rank 5. Bath are up to rank 5. My Vanu, I had some progress from before. Those are almost Bloodsworn, so looking forward to getting those out of the way. We also have some changes to dueling and PvP. So, when you challenge somebody to a duel now, you have the option to sync item level to lowest, sync item level to 150, or do not sync item level. You make that selection when you right-click and challenge somebody to a duel over in the Wolf's Den. That is not the only change, and this is the change that I am less a fan of. Now, we know that Grand Company restrictions were, quote, being lifted, unquote, for PvP, or that you would have an option to queue without a Grand Company restriction. That option is locked behind the Duty Finder settings, which a lot of people don't even know exists, to be honest, especially not newer players. Now, if you've never used this option before, you go to your Duty Finder, and if you go to the top right, you can see like the up-down arrow, and you can see the refresh arrow. Did they move anything around here? Just making sure. No, they didn't. So you click that, and you get the option currently, before the patch, with undersize and minimum item level. The Frontline Freelancer option will be added to that. Freelancers can participate in frontline campaigns without being bound to their grand company of allegiance. When joining as a party, members will default to the freelance status of their leader. So what that tells me is that a lot of people aren't going to realize this option is there because it's tucked away in a corner of the game that is not very well advertised, and we're going to see a lot of people still complaining about queue times just because. So I'm a little concerned. I feel like I have to make a video just on this Frontline Freelancer thing just to let people know how to queue up without their grand company restrictions, and I just may do that, but that's where it is. So hopefully you guys are ready to PvP in the patch. Don't forget to do that when you go to PvP. That's my #1 reminder. Other than that, we have a nice big screenshot of the diadem. Listen, I saw it back in 3.1. I don't need to see it again. I just want to see how it actually ends up turning out in March. Don't forget, in March, when we actually get to see this. Or, I'm sorry, in... you know what? We'll cover the whole March versus 3.55 thing in the other video, because that's a whole nother confusing thing that I have to go into from the interview. Also, that is Slowy Aliapo. That is the person in charge of the new crafting/gathering Wondrous Tale type books. And don't forget, she's being introduced in 3.5, and they said they would add more NPCs in 3.55 and 3.5x. Again, there's a lot of confusing language regarding that, but last that it was revealed to us, she will be joining us in 3.5. New crafting and gathering content that is very glamour-centric, and there will be more NPCs you can interact with this quest line later on, so hopefully you crafters and gatherers enjoy your new content. But anyway, those are just the few screenshots that we showed off. I will get those interview videos to you as soon as possible, I promise. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for more information on patch 3.5 and Stormblood. Anyway, thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.